In this video, we'll review how to use the line optimization tool that was developed by Mark Pelczarski, using a spreadsheet to enter the data we're going to be analyzing. If you haven't looked at the other video in this series that examines the Pelczarski tool using only the web interface, I would encourage you to look at it first and then return to this one. The other video reviews many of the features of the simulation that we won't be going into here. The web version of the tool is very convenient to use if you are interested in examining the dynamics of a single precinct. But a lot of times, you'll have many precincts in a county that you want to analyze simultaneously. In that case, repeatedly typing in the numbers you want to examine and exploring each precinct one by one is very tedious and inefficient. In a situation like this, the Pelczarski tool allows us to enter in a spreadsheet of data that describes all of the precincts we're interested in studying, and then to analyze them all at once. Now, there's a lot of documentation in the Pelczarski tool about how to do this. I would draw your attention to two places to learn the details. First of all, if you go to the Help link on the tool, which is in the upper right-hand corner, and click on that, you will get the web help file. There's a menu on the left that says Load Your Own Data. If you click on Load Your Own Data, you get details about how to load your own data using a spreadsheet to do analysis. So that's one place for help. The other place to get help is the question mark right next to the button here at the top that says Load Precinct Data. If you hover your cursor over that question mark, you'll see a box which tells you how to read in a CSV file for analysis, including the column headings the tool will be looking for. Here, I'll show you how to take a spreadsheet with data from a real live county and load it into the tool. So let's turn our attention first of all to the spreadsheet itself. The spreadsheet contains information of about 24 precincts. I've just numbered the precincts 1 to 24. We could have had names or addresses or whatever else here to identify the precincts, but I've just chosen a sequence of numbers for simplicity. Under the column labeled Turnout, we have the number of voters who turned out to vote in the most recent election. You can see that the number of voters ranged from about 350 all the way up to 1,500, so there's quite a bit of variation. After this, there are 4 other column headings with data I want to use in my analysis. One column is the number of minutes to vote, followed by the number of voting stations, the number of minutes it takes to check in, and the number of check-in stations at each precinct. You will see here that I have entered in the same numbers for the minutes to vote, the voting stations, minutes to check in, and check-in stations for every precinct in the jurisdiction, but you can vary these numbers as well. I just want to keep things relatively simple here. This is an Excel spreadsheet with the data. The tool itself requires the data to be exported into the so-called CSV format. If you're unfamiliar with what a CSV format is and how to create a file in this format, I will leave it up to you to explore that topic on your own. Let's now go over to the Pelczarski tool and see about loading that data and then analyzing it. I now click on the Load Precinct Data button at the very top, and it gives me a dialog box about choosing the file. I click on Choose File. Next, I navigate over to where we've stored the data file. Here, I've found the file named rivercityprecincts.csv. I double-click on the CSV file name, and I click on OK. The data file has been read by the tool, and the visualization has now changed to illustrate the results of running the simulation on the first precinct. Before moving on, I should remind you to make sure the poll opening and closing times are properly set. In this simulation, polls were open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., which happens to be the simulation's default values. You might also check to see that the arrival pattern selection is the one you want. To return to the multi-precinct analysis, at the top of the web page, you'll see a drop-down menu next to precinct. If I click on that link, all the precincts are shown. Note that because the line optimization tool allows you to use text to name precincts, They aren't in numerical order here, but actually in alphabetical order. So let's explore Precinct 12, which is one of the smallest precincts in the county. If I select Precinct 12 from the drop-down menu, the wait time visualization changes dramatically. I can just keep selecting precincts this way to explore them very quickly. I can also get a report of average precinct wait times all at once. To show how to do this, go down to the bottom of the tool. You'll see a plus sign next to the text Edit Precinct Values. When I click on that, the number of check-in and voting stations from the spreadsheet are displayed. When I click on the button that reads Compute Wait Times, it displays the average wait time in the second to last column under the Average Wait heading. The max wait for maximum wait column, immediately to the left, reports the maximum wait time for that precinct among the many, many simulations the program runs in order to produce its average results. This table is very convenient to use for fine-tuning the assignment of check-in and voting stations to each precinct on an interactive basis. Let's say that I'm not happy with the calculated average wait time for Precinct 3, and I think that Precinct 21 might actually have too many voting stations, and Precinct 3 doesn't have enough. If I reduce the number of voting stations in Precinct 21 from 8 down to 4, we see the average wait changes only a little. However, when I increase the number of voting stations in Precinct 3 from 8 to 12, the average wait time drops quite a bit. Once I'm happy with the allocation of resources to each precinct, I can go back up to the top of the tool and click on the button that reads Download Current Data. That button exports a new CSV file that has the results of all the analysis that's been run, including the new number of voting stations and check-in stations I might have settled on as I was using the tool on an interactive basis. That file is named capacity.csv. It can be imported into Excel for any further analysis you might want to do, or just to allow you to save your work. As you can see, there's a lot you can explore here. Using the ability to enter data from a spreadsheet into the Pelczarski tool, the power of the analysis it provides increases considerably.